Hey everyone, Jay here. As always, I'm going to take you through some recommendations for ways in which we might adapt our CrossFit linchpin workouts for kids. I'm going to take a closer look at Monday the 1st of August. We've got 5 rounds, 15 air squats, 11 toes to bar, 7 clean and jerk. I'm going to take us through different options for our advanced kids, less experienced kids, and no equipment this week. First of all, I'm going to start off our advanced kids. I'm going to give a shout out to the guys over at CrossFit Ellipsis. They reminded me of the fact that sometimes it's okay to give our kids a workout for rounds. And the reason being is that sometimes, especially our more advanced kids, they like to know the amount of work that they need to do. And that is going to be fun for them. If there's that unknown quantity of the amount of work they need to do, like they get in an AMRAP, that can have a negative effect on some children. So this workout could easily be an AMRAP for quality, but there's an option there for you. For the right children, it's okay to give them some rounds for quality. So that said, we're going to do 5 rounds for quality, 10 air squats, 8 knee raises from the bar, and then 6 dumbbell hang power cleans. So a bit of complex work here. So you'll need to spend a bit of time working on those skills before you do the workout. For our less experienced children, so it could be younger children or it could be children that are just being introduced to CrossFit Kids, we're going to go an AMRAP for quality so we can manage the amount of work that they do. We're going to have 5 air squats, 5 bar hanging progressions. They might not necessarily have the grip strength to do 8 hanging knee raises. We're going to do 5 box jumps, so we've got that nice explosive hip opener from the dumbbell hang power clean, but a less complicated move. We've also got our impact loading there that we like to see in our CrossFit Kids workouts. Now, because the adults go overhead, I've put in a handstand hold there. And the reason I've done that is a really nice piece that we like to add to our CrossFit Kids sessions. It doesn't necessarily need to be in the workout, but I thought it's okay because we've got quite simple movements in today's workout that the children can likely get through with some skill work during the air squat. You give them a simple bar hanging progression. We teach them how to jump safely on the box. And then working on that handstand hold progression. We do that because we like to stimulate their vestibular system. Now, if you don't have any equipment or you're working with a large group, maybe a school, maybe your class, we've got an AMRAP for quality, again, so you can manage the amount of work they do, how long they work for. We've got 5 to 10 air squats, depending on the age group and the experience of the children you're working with. We've got 5 to 10 sit-ups. We've got 5 broad jumps, okay? And then we've got a 5 to 10 second handstand hold progression. Now, with each of these workouts, they're entirely adaptable. If it's more appropriate to put a box jump here for your advanced children, absolutely do that. It could be that you do it with a single dumbbell. It could be that you're going to actually have a focus on the press part of this movement this week. Instead of just having the clean section that I focused on for children, you could say, I'm going to work on some of that press series. So I'm going to do a strict press, shoulder press, I'm going to do a push press, or even the push jerk. That would be an absolutely appropriate way to adapt this workout for the children. And again here, instead of the handstand hold, you could have your press progression, or in place of both of those, you could have that press progression. Even in your no equipment, you can have your unloaded movements. Any of those movements can be performed unloaded. Remember, whenever we have a CrossFit Kids session, our most important part of our session is going to be the game. So however you fit these workouts into your session, whether it be at home, at school, at your affiliate, make sure you're planning enough time to have that game in there. And like here with your advanced CrossFit Kids, some of those stimuluses we like to hit each week. We haven't got much vestibular work here in that advanced kids, so I'm going to make sure that I do that in my warm-up or in maybe some after workout skill session. Have fun with this workout, guys. So for our first movement for the advanced kids workout, it's going to be 10 air squats. Really focus with our advanced kids on that virtuosity of that movement. So they should know where their feet go. They should know that their knees need to track in line with their toes, and they should know the line of action. They should also be able to hold a neutral lumbar curve. That is because we will also expose them to other variations of the squat. Then we've got our hanging knee raise. Now, we've got a full grip on the bar, hands shoulder width apart. Ideally for this movement, I would like my athlete to come down into the hollow position and not have that sort of mini kip you see here. And then dumbbell hang power cleans. Our focus was knee position on the jump, so make sure the knees don't go in, and then keeping the dumbbells close with a nice high elbow finish position. With a little pause in that catch to make sure we're in the nice safe position before we stand. For one of the alternative movements, we've got box jumps. Our focus here was a nice solid landing with our knees tracking our toes on the landing, and then just standing to full extension after that nice solid landing. For our broad jump, our focus was exactly the same. That nice solid landing, stick the landing, and then make sure the knees are out tracking the toes on that landing with a flat foot landing. So we don't want to be landing on the toes or on the heels. It's a nice solid plant, almost like a stick it, and then knees track the toes. And just you're going to have some handstand hold progressions here. Take you through just in case you need them for either the less equipment or the no equipment options. Okay, Jonah here is going to take us through our first progression when teaching a handstand hold. We're going to call this one the Stinkbug. You might recognise it as the downward dog in yoga. So I'm going to ask Jonah to face me from there. I'm going to ask him to come down onto his hands and knees. From his position, I'm going to make sure that Jonah's got his hands underneath his shoulders. Good job. I'm going to ask him to push his bum in the air. Excellent. And I'm going to ask him to look at his knees. You can see by just using those simple instructions, it's put him in a really nice position there. And rest. Jonah here is going to take us through our second handstand hold progression. We're going to use a wall walk to get them into a more inverted position than they were with the Stinkbug hold. So I'm going to ask Jonah to lie down on his belly with his feet against the wall. He's going to have his hands underneath his shoulders. Moving on to this progression, your children would have had experience holding the plank position. So I'm going to ask Jonah to get himself into a plank. He's going to take one step up the wall. He's going to take another step up the wall to match his feet. And then he's going to just look at the wall, keeping his ears, hiding his ears with his arms. And he's got a nice hollow position here, straight legs. And he's going to hold that position for as long as he needs to in the warm-up, the skill, or the workout. And then he's just going to walk himself down onto the floor. Good job. With our wall walk, we can increase the level that the children are becoming inverted to increase the complexity depending on their skill level. So Jonah's going to show us what a wall walk looks like. He's going to push up into a plank. He's going to step himself up onto the wall. And then gradually he's going to walk his hands towards the wall while walking his feet up, maintaining a nice hollow body position, pointing his toes, pushing up, down into the ground. So he's pushing away from the ground. And then to come out of that position, he's going to walk himself down. If you have children that are able to get in that position, make sure that they can forward roll, because the forward roll is the way that we would teach the children to bail out of that should they need to fall forwards. They would tuck their chin and then roll out of the wall facing handstand hold. Our final handstand hold progression is going to be kicking up into a wall supported handstand while facing away from the wall. This would be for those children that have gone through their Stinkbug progression. They can hold a plank for a period of time and they can get themselves inverted into a wall facing handstand using a wall walk. And now we're just going to add the extra layer of complexity by kicking up into the handstand as well. So with all of those points of performance, hands shoulder width apart, maintaining a stacked wrist, shoulder, hip, and with a kick up now. So Jonah's going to kick up into the wall for us. He's going to have his hands ready, step forward with one foot, kick himself up. He's going to point his toes, push them up into the sky. He's pushing into the ground and he's maintaining a nice stacked position here throughout that movement. And then he just come down, he brings one foot down and then the other foot